All right, I want to do one more one more video for today. I'm gonna do a little series. I guess I'll call it "How do you know you're queer?" Because I like the word queer. It's better than saying gay or straight, questioning. $20 is $20. I like that word because it can mean anything. And yes, I'm outside, by the way. So I'm gonna basically just right now, when I cut my hand on the air conditioner I was picking up yesterday, I got like 5 little slashes, little marks on my ring finger. I put a little pressure on it, and I'm going to put some alcohol and a Band-Aid on it, because whenever a cut is a little when it's a little uncomfortable, when it's very when you touch it and it irritates the skin, that means that it possibly can be infected. So I'm going to put like a covering on it. But back to what I was saying, I'm going to debunk this whole theory that there's like a gay gene. Just going by me, there's a gay gene, there's a conspiracy to make kids gay, there's I want to just break it down like this. This is my theory, and I'm kind of skipping ahead the story, but just because we're all over the age of 20 or 30, I believe that social media is responsible for why a lot of people identify as non-straight, because you have people posting on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, whatever social media site, telling their story. And if your story is parallel to theirs, then you question yourself. You feel comfortable with yourself more when you have someone with a story akin to your own story. That's what I feel is why a lot of people are coming out today. It's not because they're becoming that way. I feel that they have someone to tell their story and they feel the same way, but they don't have no one who they can relate to, or they don't feel comfortable talking about it. And it's only so back in the day, it used to be said that we don't know what the population of people are gay, because you don't really have a you don't know if someone is or not. But there was an estimate that 2%, then 4%, now it's 10%. Do I believe that everyone will be gay? Probably not. But I'm sorry. I just saw a big ass rat. Anyway, I don't believe that that everyone is like it's going to turn gay. It's either you have it in you or you don't. And I'll just say that I didn't really know until my teenage years, but my formative years, my years before that, a lot of the times I would question myself. I would keep a lot of my thoughts and feelings to myself. And I did a lot of daydreaming. Like I said, there were a lot of kids in my class that I liked, and there were people on TV that I found attractive on TV shows. I'm exposing myself once again, but the show's only one-on-one. So I had a crush on Jamie Lynn Spears, and I liked her brother that played on the show as well. I did, and it's a little bit of evidence from that. There's a little evidence behind it, because I had an obsession with the actor. Like 2006 was when it had like a TV special that aired, and I remember I was buying See, before social media, Nick Magazine was like the kids, Tom and News Guide, and that was our little magazine. Nick Magazine, it gave you interviews and pictures and everything. And the internet was sort of just blowing up. So this is 2006. It was just in its genesis. And I'm talking about YouTube, MySpace. Like I said, around like 8, 9, and 10, I still had a crush on two students that were one grade below me. And I only like people with long hair. Like I said, there were a lot of actors my age that I liked on TV. Like my thing was this: you had to have long hair, you had to have braids, and that was pretty much it. But there were no gay actors to my knowledge. So that's practically that was the only thing. There were none to my knowledge. So 8, 9, 10, no consciousness of sexuality. I will tell you this: it's not like difficult to talk about now. But and then let me just say this too: when people watch my videos and they give advice or they disagree, it's perfectly fine. But it was a Christian that came on my video, and she said that a lot of men that are gay, they tend to have absent fathers, emotionally absent fathers, or they deal with some kind of trauma or abuse. And I agree 100%. I'm not going to talk about my dad too much, but me and him understand that he dropped the ball in a lot of areas. And see, lucky for me, I don't have to stay in this hellhole we know as Philadelphia. I don't have to stay here. But I understand he has a house here. I'm sure it's paid off, but he has a house. He has, his life is here. And I feel like if you were not and I'm not bashing him at all, but if you weren't really active, like emotionally in all areas of your child's life, if fucking dating or other women were more important than your children, I feel that you need to deal with the effects of your parenting. And if that is these kids that run wild today, then that's the consequence. I don't have any kids. I don't have anything that would hold me to repay my wrongs. Like I've never. I'm going to go to that part later, but I don't have any children whatsoever. No kids at all. But another thing I want to just say is I do agree that your upbringing sometimes, because you're not going to, let me just tell you this: if you're not attracted to the same gender, if you don't like your own genitalia more than you do another woman's, you're just not going to do it. But I do feel like certain factors in your childhood, it could influence you go in a different direction. I saw how dysfunctional my households were. My father has 4 kids, 3 different women, cheated on my mom. I didn't get along with the woman he's with now. At 11, I said I would never, ever get married or have kids. And I'm still like that today. I do believe, this is the only thing I can say. If I had a stronger father that was there emotionally and we were able to talk more and bond and it wasn't nothing coming between us, I feel that either a few things. I would either be on the down low, or I would suppress my feelings and get married, because I model what I see. The things that I see, I model after those. It's like when I was 10. It's like when I was 10, and I was like when I was about 4 or 5, I remember I wanted to drive trains. My dad drove a bus, right? He drove a bus, and I wanted to do something similar to that. I either wanted to drive trains or I wanted to work on them. I just know when I was 4, I wanted to do whatever my dad wanted to. Whatever my dad did, I wanted to be. But like I said, the more we drifted apart, the more we distanced ourselves from each other. I didn't want to be anything like him, and like as a result of that, like I said, I'm the opposite of a lot of things. But I do believe that your influences around you, whether they be good or bad, it can be the determining factor of how you turn out. And if you have a father, I'm not saying he's bad, but like I said, there's a lot of areas that he lacked in. And like I said, we see the result of me and my brother. See, I've spent a well over 10 years not living under the same roof as him. And I've formed a lot of my own thoughts, my own beliefs, my own ways of living. And I'll tell you, I've never served time in prison, so that's one thing. I don't have any kids. So just to speed it up, 8, 9, 10. So 8, 9, 10. Let's do another part of this.